the Soviet faction / opinion video where I'll go through casually the MP low to high and individual units and how they match up to the counterparts. So Soviets, they have in the beginning a great assault squad. It's got the best SMG in the game with their super fire rate and a huge magazine. These guys are great in a shootout and also in ambush. Definitely in ambush if you have a guy hiding behind cover. You can imagine, once I select the SMG, the whole squad walks beyond this point. You'll just go bam, his whole clip, and the whole squad will be pretty much mowed down. So that is the good thing about it. So to start assault squad and then go to single SMGs, maybe go a few rifles because they are quite expensive. You can get 3 rifles for basically 2 SMGs because of the price, but they're pretty worth it. Though they do also lack a good 20mm, the Russians at the start. They do have this T60, which is great for killing infantry. It's got faster fire rate than it looks, as you can see. Problem with this is it can get countered by the looks. It hasn't got the right armor for it. As you can see, the armor is 20 body, 15 turret. The looks can turret it quite easily, whereas this cannot possibly do damage to the looks at a decent range. So you just got to watch out that the enemy can't afford a similarly priced unit, the looks. Even a cheaper, looks is actually even cheaper than this. So this is not a great, I suppose, start unit in fact for Soviets, but it's going to be useful throughout the whole game. They also have the 20mm, sorry, the 61K, which is not 20mm, it's the 37mm, which is also a decent buy. Can take out all German light vehicles such as the Lux 222s. Won't really be able to penetrate medium tanks unless you get a lucky side shot. Can also kill Japanese light tanks too, till the Chihi, and kill infantry, so it's not too bad. They also have a half track, which is pretty cheap, 150 MP to have Russian flags and take out infantry for some, I guess, expendable assaults. And with the SP units, they have the Spetsnaz. As per UK, they have the, what do you call those guys? I can't remember, the scouts or whatever. These guys have stealth, pretty underused, but will be good, I suppose, more at late game where you can destroy heavy equipment. Shock infantry is pretty much the norm in games because they come with body armor. Hit I, you can see that body armor weighs 12 kilos. Ooh. Flamethrower, this is why people like it. Obviously you get a free flamethrower, which is quite hard to get flamethrowers at the very start because of the MP cost. So that's a definite staple. Then you have I guess the charge is the most loved of the 2 special points. This is because of the CP cost, 18 CP for 2 full squads almost, pretty much 2 full squads. It's less than a full squad, less CP than a full squad. So this means you can put more on the field as Soviets than anyone else. So you can outnumber the enemy, and numbers do really matter, regardless of how crappy the troop is. Yeah, they do matter. So that is the Soviet gameplay. I guess also in team games you have the Gaz Jeep, which is great, and you supplement that with rifles as per usual. You can start off like that in team games. The Elite Marksman Squad, oh, that's actually an interesting one. I guess they're not too bad either. They're pretty much similar to the Germans. They have the SVT 40s. I believe it's a bit crapper though than the G43s. I think. Don't grade me on that. I have to check my own tutorial before. And they have also 2 with the Mosin, so pretty similar to the Germans. But nowhere good as the USA one. So those are the key units in my opinion for the start game. Moving on to the middle MP game, hopefully as the Soviets you have a bit of extra infantry and that you got them from the charge, so you'll be able to field more units on the field than the enemy. And sometimes it allows you to spend money on the tank as Soviets, so you'll be pushing hard with infantry. Hopefully you survive the 20mm counters of the Germans faction. You got pretty decent tanks, I guess. You got T-34-76. I like to go this because this can counter the P3, can kind of fight the P3 safely, the cheap one. Kill Luxes, kill all the units quite easily, all the light tanks, light vehicles, Chihi, in my opinion, if you angle it right. whereas the T70 can't really penetrate the looks very well. Then you've got the 57, which is pretty much a staple for Soviets in medium tier gameplay. Penetration wise, it's great. If you angle it right, it's 45-45, so if you angle it 49 degrees, you can really accentuate the armor of this tank. And at 67 penetration at maximum range, excuse me, you can take out pretty much all German medium tanks without it being susceptible to getting killed back. And it's very accurate, mind you. For some reason, it's just superbly accurate, even though I missed that one. I was on the move, and it's on a weird hill. It's just very accurate tank. One of my favorites. You also have the option to go the BS3, which I think is a good gun. Can penetrate most things, even a Tiger if it gets relatively close. It's for price, it's pretty good at only 4 special points for a gun that can really dominate all of the tanks Germans can field till they get a Tiger, really, and for the Japanese, pretty much everything too. Then let's say you get to the high game. The high game, you got the KV2 in the special point scenario. This is a staple for, I guess, taking out heavy tanks. So in a team game especially, if you have one of these in the field, veteran Tigers will be playing a bit different. Either very, very cautious or very, very aggressive. Because this is quite accurate. If you right click on the enemy tank, you don't direct control it because it's less accurate for some reason. If you right click on the enemy tank, it can kill a veteran Tiger in probably 1 or 2 shots. By tests, it does it in, I guess, 50% of the time at least. You can also choose to go the T-34 assault troops, which I like as well. Costs a lot of CP, but you do have a lot of shock infantry with it as well, and 2 T-34 85s, which could be handy. But the problem is when you're fighting Germans, they will have the veteran Tiger, which can counter this quite easily. But since you have 2, you may be able to get some nice flanking maneuvers on it. So those are the key units. BS 203mm, I might mention it because it can destroy heavy tanks in, I guess, super big games. Having one of these in the field can really change the game because it can kill King Tigers and the sort, but definitely, as per usual, most heavy units are frowned upon in competitive gameplay because they're not great for price and you're much better off doing something else. So that's the key units in my opinion. I'll go through every unit now. Partisans, as per usual. Assault Squad, great, as you know. Regular, MG overpriced. Marines, I don't really have an opinion on this yet. I think they're okay. Not that great in my opinion. Not a big fan of the SVTs, and that's really all they have. SVTs, mortars, and the DP-27. It's okay, I guess. Then you have the Red Guards. I love the Red Guards for some reason. They're just great. I think they've got the pepper shells. They've got this gun. I like the DT-29 too, and I do like the AT infantry for some reason. I'm actually not too sure on the stats of that MG on the Russians. I'll have to investigate that a bit because MGs haven't been really my forte or a unit that I'd like to use in games. So moving on, a mechanized infantry, a situational if you really want a half track, I guess, and a speedy assault with it. It's a pretty good one because it comes in a 50 cal. USA and UK and Soviets do have that. As per usual, all these are the same. As per other nations, AT rifle, useless. AT, not useless, I'll be cautious with the way I say this now. Not worth the money. AT infantry, not too bad, I guess. MG, not worth the money. Elite marksman, okay. Elite AT, not worth the money. Elite support, not worth the money. Flamethrower, as per usual, not too bad. Sniper situational officer, not worth the money. M72, not really worth the money. Interesting though, this has a I think a 200 clip on this. If you get a light tier troop, let's just play around with this. Pretty sure you have a super. I mean, oh, no, the bikey. Yes. Oh no, sorry, 250, even better. Get one of these around, 250 clip, man. Just bam. 10 hours later, still firing. What else is there? Just interesting thing to see. Gaz is also, I guess, I did mention the Gaz. Already. Half track's good. Anything with the 50 cal is good, per usual. MG situational as per usual for defense, and if you're only fighting infantry, this is unique. Quite a low profile. Not too bad, I say. Pretty good at taking out infantry. Mind you, it's not as good as a 20 mil. Can't really kill units behind cover. It can definitely hurt them quite badly though. And can take out 222s and even Huggos at the side turn. So it's not a bad weapon at all. Where are we going? Mortar, not worth the money. M37, pretty crappy. Look at the penetration compared to the Japanese one at 40 something at one. Look at that. That's pretty weak. ZSI 3, pretty weak as well. Good HE shell. ZSI 2, not too bad. It can take out all German mediums for the price. Sorry, Axis mediums. For the price, it's good. Because that's all you need it for. Around above 50 penetration, you're good. 61k, though the 6-pound is probably more worth it. 61k, as I say, it's not too bad. Artillery, D1, M30, not worth the price. SU-122, not worth the price. IS-152, not really worth the price. Similar to the KV, but less accurate because the turret is in a bit of an awkward position. Katashuya, not worth the price. This one, YOLO running over something charges, or YOLO put 80 infantry in there and run up and then exit the 80 infantry and the 80 infantry shoots, just for trolling tactics really, or for YOLO charges. BA-11, careful with this. It's relatively cheap. Some people like to buy it to counter the 20mm at the start, but you can get max range with a 20mm. You can see it can't really penetrate the looks at maximum range either, so even at 70 range it can't penetrate the looks. It's just, yeah, gotta be careful with that one. T's not in competitive, so I'm on test mode, so I've got some units that aren't in competitive. Take that away. T60, pretty much a staple unit. Just gotta be careful not to fight Luxes or Huggos you can take out. Just Luxes. Careful with Lux. Versus Germany, it's pretty tough to fight with, unless you have some sort of big brother guarding him. Otherwise, great unit. T70, not a big fan. It's not bad, I guess. Things with this unit, if you're fighting a Lux frontally, shoot the HE shell at it, not the AP shell. HE shell will kill Lux in one shot. Just have to get a bit closer. Decent armor for a tank. Not a great penetration. Mind you though, it is unique. So it's unique in that aspect, that it has a lot of armor and shit penetration for a light tank. Problem is it doesn't really fit in the meta, in the actual timings to counter things. ZSI 3, not too bad. I see it's a cheap infantry killer sometimes. Just want a bit more penetration. Can take out things, but I guess as well the looks can take you out too. It's very susceptible to small arms or smaller caliber type 80 infantry. Then you have on the tank support units, there's a lot of units the Soviets have actually. BT-7A, very situational. Obviously it shoots an arc over a hill to take out emplacements of the sort. Support. 76, I like it to really get something toughest. I guess it's cheap tank at the start. Not really, I don't really like this one because it can get countered by the P4G or the Chinu quite easily. Some reason the turret gets destroyed quite easily. 57, great tank. KV1, a bit expensive, but can be useful for its very strong armor. As you can see, you can kind of angle it like a tiger. 85, pretty good as well. Can be used in some situations where you want to take out things like the Panzer H, where the 57 may not be able to do as well, because it has got extra range on, extra 10 range, and a little bit more penetration than the 57, and a little bit more armor as well, as you can see. 85, KV85, I think it's pretty decent. In fact, it's similar to the IS, just cheaper and pretty much the same. It's just got less side armor, and yeah, less side armor really. IS-1, not really worth the price. IS-2, not really worth the price, but I guess if you really need it, obviously more penetration. IS-3, not in competitive. Su-76, interesting one here, 280 MP. It has decent range, you can see, 36 MP. Can take out, I guess, light vehicles. Just pretty paper thin armor, just going to be careful with it. ZSI 30, not in competitive. If it was, it's bloody good. Su-85, not too bad as well if you want something cheap to take things out, like take out the H, take out the Chinu. It's got decent chance to penetrate. SU-122, not too bad too, I think, for price in terms of penetration. 90 frontal armor. So instead of going something like the KV2, which only has 130 range, you get extra 20 range for more penetration as well. So that is also a decent buy, I think. SU-100, not really a great buy. Can't really take it a Tiger. Even at maximum range, it's only 80 penetration, not 100. Quite susceptible to Tiger too. Spetsnaz, as you know, not too bad, I guess. He comes with 2 guys now. Shock infantry, great. Guard sniper, very situational. There's rare moments where you need 2 snipers at the same time. That's why the veteran sniper is better, because you can choose to only have 1, and you can get it earlier. Guard sniper, the problem with that is obviously you're forced to get 2, and yeah, you don't need to a lot of times. Guards rifle, very situational if you just need that AT rifle so desperately, and some MGs. But charge is generally a better choice. Black coats, same thing as the other 3-pointer nations with half tracks. BS3, pretty good. Radio up, pretty good as per usual. KV2, great for taking out heavy tanks. BM824, pretty good for team games where you have one guy that has this to take out emplacements, such as the Japanese mortars of the sort, or some, I don't know, AT guns, etc. Assault troops, not too bad for some situations. Definitely good for the money in terms of what you get. 203 BM4, not too great for price, but can turn the game around, I guess, in giant team games. So there you have the Soviet nation. They do have a slightly expensive start to other nations, as you can see, with the 20mm being 260, 280 for the T-70, etc. But if they can survive the initial brunt with their SMGs holding the ground, they can overwhelm the enemy with the charge and answers to heavy tanks with the KV2 and BS3 and the like. So they do have answers more in late game. There is the Soviets.